Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of the Laundry Talk Show. Today we will be continuing the interview with my best friend Denise.
Hello.
And how she had her baby and did not know that she was pregnant. For this part of the interview, I am just going to go over the 4 questions that were left over from the first part. I'm just going to read them all together and then have her just tell her story and let you guys know exactly what happened and the moment that she had her baby. The 4 questions that are left over from Facebook or Instagram or just in general were: how did you find out that you were pregnant? Where were you when you found out you were pregnant? What was your reaction and what did you do? So now I'm going to leave it over to Denise so that she could continue her story.
Hello, and for those of you who saw episode 1, welcome back. I will be explaining why I had some issues so then you can understand my story better. In episode 1, I did say I had a few issues or I had a situation and I kept mentioning it, so I didn't elaborate, so I will elaborate now. I had an uncle who was sick from my mother's side. He was the only one. Well, my mom is the only one from Puerto Rico here, so basically it kind of fell on us, on my mom and I. I live in Manhattan. He was all the way in Far Rockaway. So when we got the call that he was terminally ill, we had to rush in the train, take the train, a 2-hour ride at midnight. We got there, and from there everything kind of like just went downhill. He kept getting worse. We had to keep going every day, talking to doctors. The stress kind of fell on me because my mom she doesn't understand medical terms. So everything was me, and every phone call was like, is this it? Is this the phone call? Is this what they're gonna tell me? So it was a very difficult time. I had to take off of work a lot of the time so I can go with my mom and help her understand what was going on with him. He had pancreatic cancer. So it was a very difficult time for us. And then on me, and I didn't know I was pregnant, so I just kept moving it along as I could. So it was a very tough time. That is what I meant about my uncle, being sick, and then eventually he passed away in September 2015, and I had to go through the whole process with my mom and the cremation and where we were gonna put him and all that stuff. So once again, everything fell on me because I'm her daughter, and I wanted to make my mother have the less responsibility as possible. So now fast forward to January. I came to work Friday. It was a long weekend, Martin Luther King weekend. I started with pains Friday at work. I couldn't really move much, so I was sitting down most of the time. Most of the day I was sitting down. Yeah. I went home, still had pain.
Wait, you told Thursday, right?
No, that was Friday.
Yeah, but Thursday, she didn't sleep well. Remember? You told me she didn't sleep well. So she came to work Friday, and the reason why she was sitting all day was because she said that she wasn't feeling well, and she looked so bad, like so ill. And I just told her, you know what? So maybe just kind of relax today. My mother and I, which were co-workers with Denise, we were like, we'll kind of take over. We'll help you out. Just relax as much as you can. You're probably just, dehydrated. You're not eating well. You're super tired. She felt like she was coming down with a bug or something. And again, she had a lot of colic and stuff. So she was just like overall definitely not feeling well whatsoever in terms of physically or like mentally drained, and it was just a lot going on. So we tried to help her and make her comfortable, and as the day went by, she just looked worse and worse and worse. And I told if anything, like we were telling her, you might have to take some medicine or something if you're not feeling well. And she hadn't slept well the day before, Thursday, coming into Friday. Then you go home Friday and
yes, I go home Friday. I have pain all Friday, all Saturday, all Sunday. I slept sitting.
I was about to say that, yeah.
I slept sitting down. I couldn't lay down. So I was in my living room sitting down. And my mom was like, are you okay? And I'm just trying to hold the pain as much as I can just so I don't worry her. And I kept saying, no, I'm okay. It's just cramps.
My dude.
Yeah, I just kept saying, it's cramps. Don't worry. I was drinking Milo for the cramps.
Again, she thought she was going to get her period the third time. So that third time didn't come.
I was drinking Milo. My mom was like, you need to go to the doctor. And I am stubborn. So I kept telling her, no, I'm okay. I'll be okay. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh. And I'm like, oh, but I don't work on Monday. So it's okay. I still have, an extra day. And she was not having it. But she was like, fine, you're an adult. You know, that's how you feel. She didn't know the pain was as bad as they were. Monday comes along. My mother takes my nieces home. Normally I would take them home, but I couldn't even move. It took me 7 minutes maybe to walk from my living room to my bathroom. So I didn't go. My mom said she'll go take them. She comes home and I kind of like fell asleep, and then I woke up like someone punched me in my stomach. So I like got up quickly and I went to go use the bathroom, but my mom was in the bathroom, so I kind of like waited for her to get out. I kind of like dozed off again, and then it's like again I felt the pain. But when I woke up, I saw my mother's lamp on in her room, which meant she was praying. So I went to the bathroom and I was like, I can't take it anymore. I'm gonna have to go to the ER. But obviously I didn't want to tell my mother that, so I just left her praying in the room while I went to go shower. And right when I was gonna go into the shower, I felt like I had to use the bathroom. So I was like, okay, I'm going to use the bathroom, shower, and then I'm gonna go to the ER.
Yeah, because I told her to go to the ER. I'm like, okay, you've been not feeling well Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I'm like, listen, if you don't go to the ER, I'm going to have to go over there and drag you out of the house and take you, because it is ridiculous. I was like, oh my gosh, you've been sick for so many days. Sick. Mm-hmm. That's what they call it nowadays, huh?
So, basically I pushed twice and my daughter came out.
Yes, that was crazy.
Yes, my daughter came out, and a mother instinct is to protect her child. So I took my daughter out of the toilet and ran warm water and started screaming bloody murder.
I could only
not literally bloody murder, but I started calling for my mom, and I'm like, mom, and I'm holding. She was this little, holding my child, and I'm like, Mom. And the first one to get there was my father. Mind you, I'm daddy's little girl. So my father gets there, and he's like, oh my God, he just sees blood everywhere. He's like, oh my God, what's going on? And I was just like, I didn't know I was pregnant. I'm sorry. I kept telling him sorry. Like, I felt, like I had to explain myself. It was so weird. I guess that's just the way I'm with my father. Like, so I felt like I had to give him an explanation. And he's looking at me like, oh, just pass me whatever you have in your hand. Like, pass me the child. And I was like, literally my hands were like shaking. They were like, and I was like, oh my God. I'm like, there's blood everywhere, blood in the toilet, blood in the bathtub, all over. My bathroom looked like it was a massacre. So my mom finally gets there, and the way my mom described was, obviously she heard me scream, and like she said, it's not a scream of like, Mom, come here. It was like
agony,
mm-hmm. Like something was wrong. So her legs were like literally shaking, walking to the bathroom.
Like Jello, she said.
Yeah,
like Jello.
She was like, and then my brother comes out and he's like, what are you doing? Call 911.
Oh, there's a point, right? Someone says go.
He's like, what are you doing? Call 911. So where I live, our windows is towards the middle of the building. So when you hear, I can hear other people like talk. It kind of echoes. So my brother thought there was like a baby crying at another apartment. He had no clue. It was home. They called 911. And they told my brother, wrap the baby up immediately in towels, blankets, whatever you find, because it was so cold. So we did just that, and I was still like shaking. I felt like jello. I felt like Gumby.
Like, wow, you took us back. Wow, I guess you guys know a little our age now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, no, actually, Gumby became before us, but we still watched it.
Yeah, I had so many emotions. I was nervous. I was happy. I was scared. Anxious. It's just all my friends have kids. Basically my closest friends, they all have children. So one of my other friends and I, we were the last ones that didn't have any kids. 6 months before that, she had given birth, to her daughter. So I kind of felt like, well, I guess you won't be a mom ever. And I was kind of accepting it already. If I wasn't gonna be a mom, then God has a reason why he didn't want me to be a mom. So I was kind of like, I'm fine with it. But I still had that jealousy. It's not a bad jealousy. I never wished anything bad on any of my friends. It was just like that jealousy of like, I want to be a mom so badly.
Like the longing.
Yeah, and when I finally had my child in my hands, I was just like, like I'm a mom. Like, wait, like what's going on here? Like, am I? Like, I was confused.
I can imagine.
The EMT got there, as soon as they saw me, they're like, okay, you're mom, because I had the cord dangling. Oh, by the way, she was not attached to the cord.
That was crazy. I'm telling you guys, this is just crazy upon crazy upon crazy.
She was not attached, and the EMT said it was impossible for it to snap because the distance of my toilet was my toilet is low, so the distance was very short. So it would I would have to basically been standing on top of my toilet in order for her to fall, and had it been snapped, and obviously that didn't happen. So
that was crazy.
Yeah, so when he asked me like who cut the cord, my first response was Jesus Christ.
Really? You didn't tell me that. You see, exclusives just here. I did not know that.
Yes, I was like, I don't know. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
So they went and they're like, okay, where's the baby? She was in the living room. At this point, I did not know what was the gender. The MT kept calling her Buddy.
Buddy, I remember you told me that.
Buddy this, don't worry, Buddy, you're gonna be okay. And I was just a nervous wreck. They put me on the wheelchair thing, and I didn't have any pants. I didn't have a coat. I didn't have shoes. I wasn't. So I'm like, Mom, grab my, my mother's like trying to grab as much as she can. And we got into the ambulance, and I finally was able to cry. Sorry.
Aww.
I was finally able to cry, and they gave her to me, but I still didn't know her gender. I kept counting fingers and toes. I was making sure she was complete. I kept asking, like, does she have a heart? I didn't know. I just held her, and I had to put the oxygen on her. I get there. I still don't know what it is. They still don't tell me what she is. The guy's like, I think it's a boy, because the guy from the ambulance was downstairs in the ambulance, and the ones that were upstairs, they didn't come in the ambulance with us. So he had no clue what I had. So finally, they're looking at me like, you didn't know you were pregnant. So they immediately take her away from me. And, they start doing all these, like, testing on her. And I'm in the room, and she's, like, across from me. And I'm just, like, and, the lady, the nurse, the doctor's like, well, you have to push out the placenta. And I'm like, But I'm, like, looking to make sure she's okay. Trying to hear if they're saying anything, like, anything weird. So I'm nervous. And then, I pushed the placenta, and then they're like, okay, well, we have to stitch you. Mind you, I felt the stitches, but I didn't feel the stitches, because I was still trying to concentrate on what they were saying to each other. And she kept calling the nurse and the other nurse, and I'm like, what are they saying? What are they saying? And then the doctor comes to me, and she asks me, do you use any drugs? And my heart dropped, because I said, that's it. something's wrong with her. If they're asking me that, something has to be wrong. And I'm like, no, I don't use drugs. And they're like, are you sure? And I'm like, yes. And then they asked me a third time, and I was like, what's going on? And then my mom was like, wait, weren't you taking Midol? And I was like, I took Midol. She's like, oh, okay. She was like, okay, that's her the scent that she had. Like medicine, like when you kind of urine medicine, when you drink a lot of medicine and urine, that's what she smelled like. So they just making sure, that they don't, so they run extra tests on her. And then finally they clean her up, and then they put her on my chest, and they're like, oh, you have a baby girl. Aww. And I started crying even more. And then I'm like, who do I call at 2 o'clock in the morning? Who's awake at this time for me to tell them that I had a baby? So I call her dad. And I'm calling, and because he told me, he's like, if you go to the ER, call me, and I'll be
anytime.
there.
Anytime.
He's like, call me. I'm going to have my phone on. And I'm calling and calling. I'm like, he doesn't answer. I'm like, what's going on? Like, and he did not answer. And then finally, like at 6 o'clock in the morning, he calls, and he's like, I had 13 missed calls. Oh, no. Really?
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 No,
I should have called you another 20 times. Like, so he basically... was like, are you okay? And I was just like, congratulations, you're a dad. And
I don't know where.
Yeah. So then he's like,
because he was there in the night.
Yeah, he was.
And then he just went,
yeah.
He left. And then he's like, oh, call me if anything. Don't worry, the time, it doesn't matter. I'll be there. I'll go with you. Basically. And then she's like, yeah. Then he wakes up and he's like,
so I'm like, congratulations, you're a father. And he's like, oh, you're pregnant? And I'm like, no, I'm not pregnant. I had a girl. And he's like, you had a what? And I was like, I had a baby. And he didn't believe me until he heard my mother's voice in the background. He knows my mother doesn't play with stuff like that. She doesn't play with anything. She's very religious. So he was like, I'm going to take a shower and I'm going to head over there. So then call number 2. I have to call my job and let them know.
The best friend?
Well, yeah, but it's my job. Hey, I'm being a responsible employee. Yes. And let them know that I couldn't come in because I had a baby.
Actually, she sent me messages at 4 something in the morning.
Yeah.
So when I woke up by 6, before you actually called, when I was still reading the messages like 20 times, trying to understand what was going on. Yeah, you did. You did text me at 4 something in the morning and let me know that she was in the children's hospital.
Yes.
In the maternity delivery section, the delivery, whatever part of the hospital, and I'm like, what? But anyway, that's continue.
I loaded a picture with my newborn. Posted on Facebook, and it was pretty interesting. The
wake
comments.
Up, right?
I got, you photoshopped. Whose baby is that?
Whose baby is that? While you're in the hospital with a hospital robe.
Whose baby is that? How do you Photoshop that? It's not April Fool's Day. Like, I got so many comments. But I felt, to this day, I still look at my daughter, and I'm so happy that God chose me to be her mom. Yeah. And I wouldn't have had it any other way. If that's the way it was supposed to happen, then that's the way it was supposed to happen. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people always like, oh, you love your kids regardless, anything. But the way she came into my life at the moment that she came, is I needed that. I needed a child's love, you could say.
Mine wasn't enough.
I have my friends, my mom, my dad, my family, but I needed that child to love me. All my friends have their kids, and I was like, oh, yay, I'm the godmother to everyone.
By the way, she is I'm very fortunate. She is the godmother of all my 3 children. Yes. All 3 of my beautiful, wonderful gifts from God, my 3 lovely daughters, and she's the godmother. She's a hell of a good godmother. But for her to be a mom, it was just like, it was just amazing.
So I found out at home
So wait, do we cover the questions? Hold
Yeah.
on.
Let's cover the questions.
Let me, with my stained cards from, from the pilot episode, okay? So how did you find out? Wow.
I found out by giving birth in my house, in my bathroom.
Where were you when you found out?
Home.
Home.
And her birth certificate says she was born at home.
What was your reaction? We just saw an elaborate explanation. And what did you do? Obviously, leading to the point.
911.
Yeah. She said, always call 911 as soon as you can.
Yes.
So her brother pointed out.
Thank God, because everyone else was clueless. Everyone was confused.
Wow. Mind you guys, just to give you like an idea, like a vivid picture of this, not of her without the pants, but her bathroom is so tiny. It's a New York bathroom. I mean, most of you probably that are from New York would know, unless you have a great big bathroom, but it was super tiny. And to fit in this tiny bathroom, my friend Denise, a baby, and like 4 family members and like
And
4 EMTs. Wow. Just that alone was amazing. Okay? And it just everything about her story, everything about, my goddaughter, because she's my goddaughter, she's the godmother of my kids, and I'm the godmother of her daughter. It's just crazy, amazing, and as she mentioned earlier, there's so many emotions. I don't know, you're just upset maybe that she didn't know, like, I could understand you being, happy, excited, scared, like for her not to even feel the stitches because she was so afraid of what's going on with her. Wow, that's so motherly, and not even knowing it's just too much.
At first, it bothered me when a lot of people asked, like, "Oh, well, you didn't feel her?" Like, "Oh, I feel bad. You didn't get a sonogram picture, or something like that." And I'm just like, darn, like they're right. I didn't get the whole experience of every month going to see the doctor and sonogram and a baby shower and all of this stuff. But like I said, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it one bit. There's a reason why she came the way she did.
Yep. So she came at the right time, the time it was meant to be, and ever since then has been amazing, amazing, amazing. She's beautiful. She's so lovely.
Yeah, she's so smart.
Mm-hmm. She has such a great heart.
Yeah. My silly little girl.
So basically this was her story, and we're gonna provide some interviews for you guys. Guess I'll cut this part. I guess we're gonna end it here with the interview, but now to follow, we're going to have pictures of my wonderful goddaughter, her wonderful daughter. Of course, hello, she's beautiful, so like her daughter couldn't be any less. With an amazing heart, just like her daughter. So I'm going to show you guys some pictures and small clips, obviously from the hospital and after, and try not to make this video too much more longer. But thank you so much again for taking the time, taking your time that you could have been doing anything else and spending it with us today and watching this episode 2 of the Laundry Talk Show. We appreciate you guys, every single one of you, every view, every subscriber for our channel, every moment that you take to give us your comments and your likes. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't forget to smile. And now for the wonderful pictures of your daughter. The wonderful pictures of
my daughter, Sophia.
All right, stay tuned.